that look ridiculous? Does my hair look ridiculous? Just say no. Say no?
No.
Hello, welcome to Game On, the show with the slightly too long intro.
No, it's not that long.
Seriously? Mana-ma-na-ma-na-ma, mana-ma-na-ma-na-ma, mana-ma-na-ma.
Oh, yeah, that is quite annoying.
Told you.
Yeah.
Coming up this week.
Through the fire and the flames we carry on. Dragon Age 2 review.
He's an evil lover. Johnny gets excited about a new Resident Evil film.
And push it to the limit. Limit! We teeter on the brink to bring you a preview of Bethesda's daring new title.
All that to come, plus some news in brief. First, though, I'd like to address something. Johnny, where have you been for the past month?
What are you talking about?
Where have you been? You haven't been in here for 4 weeks.
I think I'd remember a month off, mate.
What, you think you've been here?
I was in last week's show, yeah.
No, you weren't. You haven't been here for 4 weeks.
How can
Your hair's totally different.
No,
I mean,
no, it's the exact... Oh, it's a bit longer.
Much longer.
I mean, it does grow quite quickly. I mean,
You've got a tattoo, Johnny. That's an actual tattoo.
Oh.
Of what, is it?
What? Well, I don't know.
This is just
I don't remember
genuinely disturbing.
I remember this.
Yeah, let's see if you remember how to do any journalism.
Well, I probably won't. First, we've seen a revolution in Egypt and one in Tunisia recently, but now it seems there's a human revolution on the way.
Yep, after literally months of anticipation, the Squeenix title now has an official release date. The prequel to the first Deus Ex games, it features mechanical augmentations rather than the nanotech we're used to.
Human Revolution is set to augment your PC, PS3 or Xbox 360 from the 26th of August this year. If you can't wait that long, there's always a prequel to the prequel novel, Deus Ex: The Icarus Effect.
Get reading. Next up, you may have caught it earlier this week from Game On, but dash it all if it's not worth mentioning again. Up until now, Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception has been tantalising gamers with nothing more than a crashed plane in the desert and some weirdly cryptic clues about Lawrence of Arabia.
This week, though, well, it's been threatening gamers with a sword umbrella.
Yeah, this is Catherine Marlowe, Nathan Drake's nemesis for the third title, and winner of last year's World Helen Mirren lookalike contest.
I don't know why, though, but I really feel like Judi Dench should have done the voice. Now listen carefully, Bond. I want that ring.
What was that? That was
the best I could do. I don't know.
Weak.
I merely want what's mine.
And finally, in this brief basket of gaming goodness, there's a new Resident Evil movie on the way.
Really?
Oh yes, Mila
It's Jovovich. Jovovich
will be reprising her role as Alice yet again in this, the 5th Resident Evil movie.
But that's as many as the games,
No,
Johnny.
It really isn't. There have been 5 like recognised Resident Evil games with proper numbers on the end, but there have also been several other titles like Code Veronica that have been, you know, recognised as canonical titles.
Yeah, all right,
so
all right.
the film's got a long way to catch up.
Pedant. The new film will of course be shot in 3D, much like the last one, and should hit screens in 2012. Interestingly, Screen Gems, the studio behind the series, is also making the Devil May Cry movie, so there's that to, well, not look forward to.
No, I mean, we'll probably spend the time waiting for it to come under the covers for fear that they're going to butcher a perfectly good game franchise.
Definitely. Dreading.
Now, it's been 2 years since the last title, but it's time to rejoice, for BioWare have finally returned to us with a new dose of dragonage.
What?
Dragonage, you know,
Dragonage?
the traditional French dance based on kind of mythical, like, tales of chivalry. There's lots of wheeling involved. It's kind of one of those sort of, like, change partners.
So you don't mean Dragon Age, then? BioWare Dragon Age?
I probably was trying to say that.
Do you need to see a doctor?
Probably,
at all?
We stand upon the precipice of change.
Yep, as the old saying goes, you just can't keep the blighters down. The Darkspawn have returned to Xbox 360, PS3 and PC, and it's up to you to save BioWare's RPG universe from total destruction.
Dragon Age 2, which hits UK shelves today, puts you in the shoes of Hawk, a refugee who arrives in Kirkwall after fleeing the blight of the first Dragon Age. The game charts your rise to power as the champion of Kirkwall, facing insurmountable odds to test the limits of human potential.
Well, your hawk might be a human. I'm going to make mine an elf, like in the last one. So.
No, you're not.
Well, yes, I am. So.
No, because you can't. Yes, one of the biggest changes brought to Dragon Age 2 is race locking. While you can still choose between male or female, warrior, mage or rogue, Hawk is human in Dragon Age 2 whether you like it or not. You can customise to your heart's content, but if you're keen on making an elf the champion of Kirkwall, you're plain out of luck.
Yeah, happily though, BioWare have made several other changes to the title, almost all for the better. The visuals are greatly improved, particularly in facial animations. They're twinned with some truly impressive voice acting, which is a real blessing after the first game.
Even if some of the dialogue will have you vomiting uncontrollably.
Yeah, admittedly parts of the dialogue do pack more cheese than the annual Wiltshire dairy farmers' Cheeser-Palooza, particularly at the start when you're just getting warmed up.
Claim your destiny, or be claimed by it.
Oddly, the first couple of hours of Dragon Age 2 aren't actually that engrossing. In fact, they're pretty ropey. The opening sections, which you'll remember from the demo, feel a bit piecemeal. In fact, at the start it's got more in common with a standard hack and slash than a full-blown RPG.
Where it's initially disconcerting though, after a bit the game grows hugely in confidence. Suddenly the dialogue feels less cheesy.
Even if passers-by are still prone to upchucking if they hear any of it.
And the game opens out in scope. BioWare, of course, are no strangers to the RPG format, and they've crafted an immersive game both broad in scope and rich in gameplay hours.
The combat has been simplified somewhat to appeal to a broader audience. It plays smoothly and is surprisingly intuitive for those new to Dragon Age. However, this does come at the expense of some tactical elements which may leave the hardcore feeling dissatisfied. And that kind of sums up Dragon Age 2 on the whole.
While the environment is beautifully rich, for instance, the vast majority of the game is set within the city of Kirkwall. While the city is big enough to serve as the game's setting, it nonetheless provides a feeling of confinement, leaving you feeling hemmed in for no reason other than making you aware you're in the one city.
While it feels like an odd move, there are still several other AAA titles set within one city, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood being just one recent example, so our advice would be just to try and ignore the sense of confinement.
The sense of confinement we just flagged up.
Yeah, that
Ignore
sense
that.
of confinement. Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately then, BioWare have taken a lot of steps in Dragon Age 2 to draw in new players and encourage those who perhaps aren't hardcore RPG fans.
While most of these are improvements, such as the tidier, more intuitive interface, some elements like race restrictions will be a disappointment to die-hard BioWare fans, making them feel unnecessarily constricted.
Which is a shame, because it really is a huge role-playing experience, and an impressive one at that. OK, final verdict then.
Yeah, I'd say Dragon Age 2 is worth swinging your sword at. It's extremely well crafted, even if some of the changes for the second one are a bit baffling.
Yeah, plough through the first hour or two, keep a sick bag handy for the dialogue, and you'll be richly rewarded.
With a couple of bags of sick.
Next up, do you not think there's a hole in the gaming market for a kind of game where you run around like looking through a character's eyes almost? The guy's got a gun, you're shooting people, maybe looking down the sights, fictional universe.
So some form of like first person.
Exactly, first person gunner.
Okay.
Game, like.
Yes, that, I mean, it is a brilliant
It's a good
idea.
idea, isn't it?
Unfortunately for you, Bethesda and Splash Damage have already got there with their new game Brink. Yeah, it's a vibrant take on the ubiquitous genre, I'm afraid.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think I could sue?
It's worth a go.
You ready to use these, brothers?
I am ready.
Then let's do this.
At its kind of heart, it's a shooter. But it's a shooter that takes place in a really unique location. It's an immense artificial floating city built at sea as part of a contemporary green vision. But now existing around 2045, it's lost contact with the rest of the Earth, and it's become the focus of this, what is essentially an isolated and horrific conflict between two competing social factions. So as a player, you enter the game in 2045, and one of the very first choices that you make is whether you want to fight for the security, who represent the original founders, who believe in maintaining law and order and the very limited resources that they have available, or you can fight on behalf of the resistance, who represent the refugees that have arrived from nearby atolls that are flooded under the rising Earth's oceans. We look at what people are playing right now and what we're playing right now, and we work out a crazy list of things that we'd like to be doing in 3 years' time. And if nobody else is making it, then we may as well do it first. So if we imagine big contiguous environment, or persistent character advancement, or like Smart, our smooth movement across round terrain system, you know, for years in shooters I hated getting stuck on chairs and tables and things that got in my way. With the Smart button, when I'm holding it down, I can now slide under tables, vault across them. I can use them as a jump up via a wall hop to get to a location that I previously couldn't get to again. So it's those kind of artificial and frustrating constraints we wanted to remove from Brink.
In disguise. Ammo on the way.
I think for our part, we're just trying to bring a kind of really fresh, new feel to a shooter. We're working with great partners, Bethesda Softworks, who are known for doing a good job of high quality games, particularly new games. And I think that fans won't be disappointed of either company.
That's it from us for this week. We're off to don some armour and, well, probably just go for a pint.
Yeah, flagon of ale. It's kind of a lot nicer than hand-to-hand combat, if I'm honest.
Yeah, less kind of clammy.
Yeah, depends how you drink beer, really.
Does.
More gaming gallantry next week. And take it to the limits. Chaka limit! We teeter on the brink to bring you...
It's push it to the limit. It's push it to the limit, yeah. I wasn't expecting the whole works. You've got a tattoo?
Yeah!
Oh, this is like The Hangover or something.
What's going on?
Genuinely disturbing. Let's see if you remember how to do some journalism.
Oh,
that was all right, wasn't it?
Oh, my mum's gonna freak. Sorry, Mum.
Next up, you may have caught it earlier this week from Game On, but dash it all if it's not worth mentioning again. Okay.
Sorry, I noted that bit down when I went back to the 1920s.
Yeah, go on, dash it all.
And finally, in this brief basket of... I just clashed my teeth together because I can't talk, apparently.
Interestingly, Screen Gems, the studio behind the series, is also making a Devil May Cry movie. Devil May Cry?
Yep.
As in the game. Okay. I was thinking Devil May Care, the new Bond book, and that was in my head.
And yet, what with the monkey hand?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Not great.
Dragon Age 2, it's hitched... What? I got too nervous to talk.
Okay, final verdict then.
Nah, I'm tethered to the mic.
What flavours?
I don't know.
Fudge?
Yeah, throw one at me.
I definitely want the cream egg one.
Oh, nearly.
That would be really cool if you caught it.
I know, right? Nice flagon of ale. It's much safer than, you know, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, less stressful as well. Ooh.
More gaming gallantry next week.
Stressful? What did I just made that up?
Stressful. I tell you what, after a long day on the battlefield.
They're sweaty. I was going to say sweaty. It would have been funnier.